taking a little bit of damage here. Demon 1 online.
Traded out through the main angle. Now Nature lined him up for him.
Well, it ain't over yet. Seems like NRG are still in this fight as we head over to map 3. Now, Wyatt, you were talking about how we haven't seen NRG on Lotus this year yet. And it seems like they've been cooking, though.
For sure, yeah.
They've been cooking something in the background.
It was a big surprise because most of the maps so far, they've just played standard stuff. And even some of the maps, like Split, they went back to like the 2023 standard with the double duelist. So I was kind of expecting essentially what EG were playing, a pretty, the comp of the moment with the Fade Rays, all that. But no, they came in with the Breach, which we have seen on Lotus before. It's just not as common right now. And you could see how strong it was at locking down the A side of the map early on, when the side swapped on defense, when they were making that big comeback. And also, in tandem with the Gecko, the Breach flashes with the Dizzies at the same time, like on this round, pushing into spawn, is so sick. And in fact, it's the Gecko Breach combo that Lev used to boom them a couple weeks ago. And they pick it up and use it right here and do a solid job with it.
Yeah, I really liked the way that they played in that second half. Every single defense round, I think, was pretty solid from them. I mean, always finding early advantages, really making it difficult for EG to find any specific value. And I think it's because of the man on your screen right here, Victor. This guy was super active. You saw him take the risk in that final round to get the op online as well, and it paid off huge, even though he was under pressure. Again, Josh was talking about on the cast, he's not a regular opper, but there it is. That just pulling it out in one of those random rounds throws things for a wrench. And I was like, oh, I think EG is really the only one taking risks to try to close this game out. For example, Jog walking into that breach stun, trying to disrespect it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Victor makes that one play, and he's able to close the game out once they get that one attack side round.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and also Jaw, he was ruling the game early on, but then by the end, Victor just took over. Late into the second half when they went on the comeback in OT. Just went crazy.
A guy like Jaw running at like 1,000 miles an hour in his brain, just doing the things he's doing on Rays, eventually it'll slow down. And I think we did see that, a couple fumbled decisions there from Jogamo at the end.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting it to get pushed to overtime, though. That was really phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. For the fact that EG even pushed it back, right? Yeah. They were down after that for a little bit.
Yeah, Nature getting that, I forget if it was a clutch.
Down.
But he had the clutch to get them to 11 as well, stepping up. So, yeah, pretty wild game. But listen, third map, Sunset, excited for that one because we're going to see NRG on it for the first time since the Lev incident.
Oh, the Lev.
Do we talk about the incident?
And what I'm looking to coming into this map, now that I just saw them with Breach Gecko, I kind of want to see them run it on Sunset.
Oh, I mean,
if they're going to rip it from Lev for Lotus, bring it into Sunset where they used it to roll you a couple weeks ago. Make it your own.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple different standards now on Sunset that everything is turning out to be pretty acceptable. So I'm very curious to see how this continues here for NRG. Definitely cooking in these last week at the very least after 2 weeks. So I'm very excited for this last match. This has been probably the best map so far. Actually, probably even back to Super Week, too. And it means so much still. I mean, NRG trying to stay alive, EG trying to stay alive. There's
Playoffs
so many
on the line
implications.
For EG. This is, it's win you're through, lose it's over for them. So.
Yeah, we did talk about that up top at the the top of this half, and about how important it is for both of these teams. So maybe that's the reason why we're seeing both teams just stepping up right now.
For sure. I want to see with EG if they come into this and are a bit fatigued, honestly. After that lengthy map, they take the loss. They had opportunities to close it out.
Yeah.
And now NRG, sigh of relief. They got the win coming into this one. I want to see if that might end up being a factor. I think it certainly could be.
I think we're getting some sneak peeks as well, by the way. Of course, the thing that I really liked about the Lotus comp was that it allowed for some of the comfortability and some of the strengths, I think, of this team right now. Victor on Rays, Demon 1 on a controller that he's comfortable with, right? Forcing the Brimstone on Lotus is so out of pocket, but it works when you have Demon 1, who is a guy that's very comfortable on that agent. And he's a player who's getting a little bit more cerebral, too. So I'm very curious how it's going to work out here because I think they're leaning away from that when you go to a map like Sunset.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Demon 1 is going to be playing here. Was obviously, yeah, playing the Raze on this map previously. But for me, the overarching issue against Lev was their game plan was just so straightforward. Lev had them hard read and countered. NRG contact on attack on this map constantly. And Lev were just hiding in smokes, waiting for them. They were so readable. They knew when they would be walking up, boom, breach flash, Dizzy coming out at them, and they were just ruining NRG's attack op. So I think they needed to have done some serious work here. Comp aside.
Well, the comp's right there.
Yeah, so they're coming in right now with the Gecko and the KO, and I think NRG previously, when they've been running the Gecko, they've been struggling with syncing it up with the other initiator utility. That was better on Lotus than I've seen it on the other maps. And now, again, going to be looking for that here because that was an issue against Lev. You could just clearly see the difference in the team play level around the Gecko.
Yeah, I'm hearkening back to Kickoff right now when NRG had that game against Sentinels, the do-or-die game to make it to Madrid in the first place. It was first map on this one, and they stumbled in overtime against them. So I'm very curious right now. EG versus NRG, we saw the comps. I think it's pretty standard across the board. I'm not super surprised by anything. I think my point still stands about how Lotus was super comfortable for them, despite being a switch up in the comp, just how the rules work out.
Yeah, well, this is quite the reunion. It's time for map 3, so we're going to send things back to your casters with Bryn and Sideshow for the call.
That's right, both of these teams hunting for that win here to just, set things into motion, I suppose, for playoffs. I mean, EG desperately hunting for it. They were so close on that second map to closing out 2-0.
Many
what a heartbreaker it would be for them if it's NRG after just, honestly, a well-earned map 3. They've been granting themselves that lifeline, and now they're looking to just rip it away, take it away, show that they've had learning moments after that Leviathan game.
It's such an important game for both teams, but it is literally do or die for EG. An NRG win here knocks Evil Geniuses out of playoff contention. They would not be going on that miracle run up to Shanghai and making an echo of what happened in 2023. My focus, Bren, to start this map is gonna be on that Demon 1 Raze. It's just been the talk of the town, but it's on the other side of the map to start on the pistol. A 4-player stack from NRG as they make it look like there's more presence over towards B with that knife.
One over the top not broken. That's going to clear out most of the site.
Ethan
it should
inside
be.
the cage.
Yeah, Ethan inside the cage actually has locked this one up and over and around, Ethan. It's the one there. In fact, NRG are willing to just hold the ground. Still defensible positions. Apoff being red there, just trying to absorb up that space towards mid.
That's a lovely pistol round strat. Reading the EG finish on A perfectly. Cage there for Ethan to play inside too. A trip. Now for a little bit of contact. And they know exactly where Derek and Nature both are.
There should be no chances, really. Sending out a lot of that util. Victor takes the contact. Would have been plenty of players ready to swing and trade him out if he did 4. So once more, NRG pistol round going to be gained for them. They have been pretty steadily consistent with getting these opening pistol rounds. This is just ludicrous.
Now, I'm not 100% familiar with what EG did last time they played on Sunset with the pistol, but that looks like a hard ante on the pistol to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't totally confirm it. My memory's not that good. But when you've got a trip and a cage set up like that, 4 players stacked on A, that looks like a hard read against what EG have done in prior maps. So gets the NRG defense started off on a good footing.
All the footsteps in the world. NRG know that they've taken up B control. Not much they can do about it, though.
Yeah, that's a unusual smoke being thrown there as well. As the NRG players go back to try to make sure that nobody's got that lurk play deep through mid. I feel like the NRG defenses have just been really solid. Generally speaking, apart from on Ascent where I thought it was a little passive.
Nade sails past Apoff, but he won't be surviving for much longer. You're right. The defensive setups of NRG generally very well thought out. For EG here, get that plant down. Need more past that, though. Most plant's not going to be good enough. Pushing through the smoke and past it. A little bit of util to set it up. The Classics doing a bit of work here. Phone line even. Delaying the push out through market. Surely it should be easy pickings. If only Derek have to stand against it. The right click.
From that range?
Yeah, okay.
Good work from Demon One, coming back to the rest of his team so that they could play a couple of players facing into Derek, not allowing himself to be isolated. So they've kept some good weaponry heading into the bonus here for NRG. Do they have another idea of what they want to do with their setups? We've seen a setup where Demon One on his own is holding towards B, but they fake like there's more players there with the 0 point. And then we've seen Ethan and Victor playing the weaker side of the map together on B. Now Demon One picks up market control. And this does look like EG are going to put heavy emphasis towards A at the start, and that is a little weak right now. There aren't those trips to play off. No KO to combo the util with.
Jorgenmo's going to be quick now. Rapid with the Prowler. Still got the Boombot in the back pocket.
Okay.
Horn broken. Marv's in a bit of a tricky spot here with the nades. Hold it onto the TP just in case. How does that get value? Crashy falls to it.
That's over the top. I mean, that just puts a lot of pressure on the player.
Was it spam damage and just a little bit of a
I think he got
follow-up with
stuck.
a grenade?
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he got stuck in the corner.
We'll find out, I'm sure, in the replay. Just losing track of things onto the high ground. Angle, dropping down. Shot fired. Possibly hearing his rotations. Marv, great time to take some risks and matters into his own hands. Sets up the one way. Find time for the rest of them to start flooding right back into things here. But a Paranoia, it's hard to really just clear out Marv from this spot and position NRG. A bonus round conversion here would be electric.
And a disaster for Evil Geniuses. They had such a great opportunity in this round. They're taking back control early. And Apoth beefing the fight against Demon One, who only had a Guardian.
You don't want to see it like that. 24 seconds.
Another 1v3 for a different player to try to pick up.
There's only one option you can go for. If you want to play to your outs, it's the A site. Has to be one out. Magnetic to the head, but again, it's Marv to deal with, it's Ethan to deal with. Running away, right out of there. Shutting down Superman. Bonus round conversion. As you said, Josh, I mean, it's a heartbreak for EG.
Yeah, because I think they played the macro really well. I think the most standard thing you can do with EG's comp is to go and take elbow control at the start of the round and then cut noise and bait out info peaks. They're in a 5v3 here. And yeah, Crash is just getting caught by the nade. Oh, 4v3, apologies. But the fact that they couldn't stop Marv from just walking in, A-Link and destroying them. Derek's literally holding that angle, waiting for the info clear. And can't get the punish. Not an auspicious start to EG's attack side. Not the beginning that they would have wanted.
No. When you can't get a round on the board either, you don't really get the ults alongside it. Still a few away. Puff just unaware that that angle could even be open to him.
It's good information to then allow EG to go for the pop. But,
I mean, the util.
they both the back. Sheriffs.
Yeah. Just with these guns, Victor. Little peek there, slightly open to it. Mosh pit dropped down at the feet. Superman lucky to be alive. He was blinded up, unaware of how close he was to certain death. Nature. Sticking now with a plan. Now a showstopper really to see if they can get this one going. Okay. Out of the sky. Ult's not going to be doing too much here, but what can you do, Nature, in this spot? Not much.
The ult investment is very heavy just in general from NRG, but that's going to be a team decision, I think, to invest the ult. The double blast pipe there causes Demon One to get stuck in the animation and get punished, but listen, they got the round sealed up at the end of the day, and that's what NRG were looking for. You can see that EG's attack side is trying to be very reactive. They're looking, when Apoth gets punished in mid, they realize that's 2-3 players there, we can hit the site. But they need to find those opportunities, really, when there's rifles online. And B still very decisive. Well, that's a great shot, though. That is a great shot to shut down Demon One.
Caution.
Few away now from some big key ultimates of EG. Been playing super hard for control of B main. Easiest access for the AWP, but this time setting up for a bit of a play with the boombot broken. Does Jorgenmo suspect that things are up? Yes, he does. Got that awareness, and even going to be claiming the kill.
Just a bit too obvious when the boombot gets broken there.
Oh, hard stick there from the ult to just try and reinforce that B side, expecting to be way
flash.
faster from it. Flash is excellent. They've already taken and occupied up mid-control. Market is theirs! And so is the round at this point. Team 1 and Crashies would have to go massive. Stand a chance. They have mid-control. APOF slipping around out of their sight lines here, weaving in and out, dodging and juking.
Even giving away his position with a couple footsteps, still gets one on the board. NRG overcommitting to a B main fight. Joe gets the read. As soon as that boombot's broken, you see the protocol from him. They go for the breach flash to set him up on the angle and a nade towards the back. Both teams exchange paranoias, but it's EG that put the pressure there, put the squeeze onto Ethan, Victor, and an ulting Marv. Now there are enormous ults for EG to work with over towards this A site. We've got Demon 1 here to try to reinforce things on the defense for NRG.
Satchel out.
The amount of chances they've got is going to be insane, surely. It's a long-range flash! Jorgamo! My God, man! Can't be doing it to him like this. Crashies still going to be alive and kicking out towards the elbow angle. Potential for him to be cleared up. Neuro theft. They're going to see this one as a heavy, heavy over-rotation. And Superman does have his ult for a pivot. In case he spots it, would love to see him execute onto this one here, but they're not calling for a pause into the round, and that could be to their own demise! Rolling Thunder, it has to tear through it, but it leaves it to Crashy in that 1v2, lit up. And a Neuro theft, double phase, and not able to do it. It's EG who close it out.
There were chances for NRG to turn that one, but EG had the advantage right from the beginning with Jorg outplaying Demon 1. I don't really know what NRG was set up for at the start there.
It was the long-range flash of Ethan, just trying to put Demon 1 in position.
But one of my problems with it is, what we're seeing from the top teams that look elite on Sunset is that on defensive A, you start with a protocol that works against a fast A push. And then after about 5 seconds, when you know there's not that fast A hit, then you can start to do those like re-clear or more aggressive plays. Talking about aggression, NRG walk down mid.
This is it. They're writing a template and the book on it, Marved. Bullets go flying, TP to get out of there. Nightfall scatters and does land onto a few of the players.
They're trying to pinch them from B main at the same time, but they're worried. There could be trips in there.
A lot of trips in their base. Flashed up. What the hell is occurring? Jorgamo. It's like he just wakes up from a slumber, but eventually EG aren't getting it done.
B main control cannot be denied here for EG, and that's putting the squeeze on these B anchors. Good work from Evil Geniuses, getting into position, building up that economy, and now 3 rounds in a row. 1 for their side. But they've expended all of those big ults. APOF is going tiles pretty much
Almost every round, right?
Definitely something that NRG can try to work through. You know, if they realize that a sight hit is coming through on A or B, a mid re-clear to catch the lurker could be money.
Could be excellent, could be money, but Jorgamo is the one. He's coming up with tons of it for his team. Marved. Overstaying his welcome. He just cannot evade it, cannot escape it. Jorgamo running rampant right now.
You can see that NRG realize from a big picture, macro perspective, losing B main control is devastating for them. So they're trying to fight it in a number of different ways. But nature just unloads breach utility to set up Jorgamo, and that's enough.
Yeah.
NRG have tried tucking Ethan behind the box. They've tried Demon 1 taking that early line. They could try doing some kind of flash re-clear play. But that's even before the fault line hits. Jorg is not really favored in that fight, except that Demon 1 has a lot of different angles to cover. He has to be thinking about right side box, potentially left side if he's swung out wide enough. And Jorg chooses the high ground instead.
There.
EG at this point.
Can they pull weapons out?
Yeah, they'll be looking to do it. Economical damage will be massive. They'll try and hunt and sniff out these NRG players. Victor's off angle. It's enough that he will survive, and everybody else, yeah. No one else fading to black. So we're seeing it. No command. The Thrash still available for them. Might be able to squeak together some weaponry for Marv to work with.
Jorg, last time he had the showstopper, just ripped it A at the very beginning of the round. It's a play where you get like cam contact. If there is somebody A, then you send paranoia and you ult on top of them. It's a very simple attack side plan, but this time he doesn't have the ult online at the beginning of the round, so they're gonna have to work for an ult orb.
Yeah.
The thing is though, that one on B just looks free.
It is free at this point.
NRG cannot come up with a game plan to try to stop EG from taking that B main control, so that means you have to fight for different areas of the map. And I think that's one of the big things that the Breach Fade comp does super well, is that it's really obvious which side of the map the attackers are fighting for, but it's very tough to stop them taking that control. NRG's gone. We've seen other teams play it for immaculate retakes. And instead, you know, dominating market or going for reclears in mid, something like that.
Yeah, pick and choosing the correct times to go for those reclears when you have the double flashes.
Yeah.
It is a really powerful comp.
Yeah, I think NRG could try to hold more passively and just... They've already conditioned EG to throw out a lot of utility at the beginning of the round,
Yeah.
even though EG are winning. So you could try to hold back a little bit and just play for retake knowing you'll have a util advantage. Plenty of ways for NRG to play. And Victor's gone for a cam that spots a main contact from real far back.
Yeah, so you should be imagining a bit of a passive hold here for NRG. Lineup. The knife.
Yeah.
Gonna make Ethan feel like he's actually over towards the A site. He's gonna be shoring up the defenses up towards mid instead. Only the one connection. Mid control is the name of the game now for EG. Demon 1 and Marved. They're watching that sight line.
Potential for a massive clash.
Oh, they're watching it indeed. Look at this. Fast through. Right past the rifles. Nade. Flying forwards, locks off that one shot, but they've already taken top. Mid control! It's ripped away from them! The round's over!
It's done! Victor left, looking at the fallen pieces, wondering how it went so badly for NRG.
I mean, I was caught unaware by the fact that, they were fighting over Boba. What was that, in 5 seconds flat?
Yeah, this play came through so quickly. Crashy's ripped his ultimate, thinking he had time to be able to play that one and catch the EG players.
Yeah.
And they were so much slower than that electric pace that EG pulled out.
What a mix-up.
Yeah, we haven't seen EG really take mid control like that and path through top mid. It's only been Apoth hanging out in those kind of areas. It looked like there was potential for a coordinated squeeze in mid, but NRG didn't have the initiative. That's wild. Great round for EG to pick up, because that also gets them that showstopper online. They can run an early round play off the back of that. And Victor just kind of wants to keep the gun online. Demon 1 and Marv's credits are so weak. And he's not going to keep it, is he?
Not. Into the next. That's a flawless round by EG. Everybody intact. Important points to know, which you've already pointed out, Josh. You know, the ults build on that. Get the snowball potential, at least for the showstopper, and that's what everyone's expecting. I mean, it's set up with a paranoia?
Yeah, the paranoia and the TP up top. That is immaculate from Superman. That's so well coordinated.
Yeah.
What a lovely play from EG. 5 rounds in a row, knocking the NRG economy once again. I don't think you need to do a fast play off the rip with the showstopper for this round.
Jump spot from the box. Might catch ahead of a player who was playing top mid just before the smoke blooms and blossoms.
This is looking
It's a
like
reflash, yeah?
potential mid crunch here from NRG, yeah.
They want to try and fight this one, surely, with the flashes. They need to pick and choose the right timing for it. The paranoia flying away.
But they backed off.
They have backed off.
Ethan and Crashy, who were top mid, was set up to go for that double flash combo and just didn't commit.
Pokemon's got the right moves. Get himself out of there, at least with the satchel plays and movement.
All of this pressure towards market and mid might well drive Nature into calling his team to hit A. And NRG are already predicting that. There are 2 trips here to work off. This could get very dangerous.
It could get very dangerous. I think NRG are going to be fast on this one, just going to be following all these cues. And they can delay long enough, as long as Victor stays alive. He's got a trip still up. There's one kill trip in order. Still locked into the corner of the site, even peeking off of a flash to Ethan. I think just lobbing in that long-range artillery. This time, Apoth seeing if he can make his mark in through market. Cam not spotting anything, being pressured all the way from behind, but still wins the fight. Out! And Derek just takes away 2 of them. Spike though. It's out into the open. TP backs away, and crashes to make the play. Here's the footsteps, here's the reloads. Neural theft, pointing them all out. Will he go for the early peek? Bait and switch, 1v1 now. Superman sticking a plant, not feeling deterred, doesn't know where the last alive is. Victor, many ways to play this one. Unknown creeping in the back of the players' heads. They just don't know where they could be, but he spotted it out and sniffed it out.
My ultimate is ready.
Definite danger in that round, even though he's a thrifty from NRG, but fairly well handled from Evil Geniuses. They called to cancel on the A hit. They utilized the lurker. Again, APOD giving them options in the round. It's so important that your Cypher player on attack gives you that info, that spot on the map where you know that it's safe. And especially when APOD wins the duel against Marv. It makes the round winnable and danger avoided. See, this is the round where you can really flex the showstopper now. But they're not going to go for that same A hit. You see the NRG respecting it. A more passive hold over towards A, despite the fact 3 players are over there. And Ethan holding the knife.
That's their idea of the counterplay, just in case the showstopper is sent. They've been getting squeezed in these mid-crunches. Out through B main as well, and they have lost at least sight and direction of where this could be possibly landing. Kill trip, be damned. I mean, Superman's the one who's just taken names off the server, crossed them off the list.
What a crunch there into market. And all the utility was excellent. The fault line even coming through from Nature, through from B main. That area of the map just allowing his breach to have so much impact on the split. And Apoth also collected the kill on Ethan at top mid.
And because this was an eco swing round for NRG, I mean, they're just forced to save these rifles.
Yeah, I think EG are calling a fantastic attack side here.
This is an EG that's just been evolving steadily. I mean, they had some cool ideas, don't get me wrong, when they played Sunset. I think back to the Kickoff.
Yeah.
They're opening weeks, and they were throwing in some very interesting looks on their defensive side. They started slow on that map, but, you could see at least the bare bones making of something that was fleshed out. Apoth, important kills from Defiant here, and they spotted out the 2 players with the rifles. If they take them away, it's the danger zone for NRG, and they will not keep any of them intact.
That is brutal for the economy heading into our final round. NRG's defense, they've been trying to fight EG for areas of the map, and yet their composition doesn't really excel in that situation. They can't really hold on against all of the overwhelming utility that's being thrown at them. A C is onto Victor, the stun as well. Despite the fact that Superman gets caught in a trip, it's just too much for NRG to hold on. This is 7 rounds in a row that EG have picked up.
Yeah, ever since the first 4 that NRG could get. Dizzy, broken, denied, paranoia, fast play, but there's really no follow-up off the back of that. Can't really gain the ground fast enough. Trip, acknowledged and broken now, at least with the help of Prowler. It's the final round of the first half.
They haven't broken the trip at top mid, so Ethan can keep watching market from Boba. And it's been a little rare that we've seen Marv actually get posted on this with his one-way. He's got backup in the form of Crashies, but Demon 1 Showstopper is miles away from this, and we've seen NRG fight for control instead of playing the retake. They spot Marv.
Ulting off Superman's contact?
Right there. I mean,
What's the call here?
It looked like they were going to go for that.
Yeah, flash and a horn instead, just using the util that's available at their fingertips.
All right, so Marv's trying to pull utility out of them so that they can play retake here, surely.
And now the rolling thunder. It's the knife that forces it out early. Marv wasn't caught by it. Not catched by the stun, and this man could make all the difference. Rooted into position. He's got to try and defend this site away from them. That reposition again with the stun in his face. Adjustment barely there by Superman. Doubled up though into the back of the side, and NRG have got to do work now. Put it in the business and winning this out into the neutral team. And what doesn't get anything? Crashies still alive here, but Apar brought down. Smaller but killed entertainment wins it.
And they're going to go for a brutal finish. But that was the only round that NRG were able to pick up after the first 4 in a row. It's a knife to close out the half, but EG made them work for every inch of that. And it's EG who lead in our 3rd map, 7-5. A slim advantage, but in terms of the rifle rounds, again, like map 1, dominating.
Yeah. It's closer than it really is, I suppose, just because of the nature of them winning that pistol round. And yeah, I mean, they're going to be laughing at the end of this one, the disrespect of the knife play, but they're still going to be down 2 rounds as we're heading into the next half.
NRG, EG, this has been just amazing to see these two teams go up against each other. Like, EG, they're kind of dominating is what I would say. Or is it too early to call this during the halftime?
I mean, what, we ended up 7-5? Like, the score doesn't show it, but I think you're right. I think that 7-round streak is definitely indicative of them feeling it. They definitely had a lot of things working very well for them, and NRG was struggling for answers at the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they got a pistol round, they win the bonus, that's huge. But after that, EG just go on a run. I mean, it's the gun rounds that they were winning. And one of the things they were doing so well here was fighting for B main, taking control, and then able to split off of that. And after, I think it wasn't 2 rounds back to back, but they were spaced out where they just dominated B main.
Yeah.
After that, NRG just gave it up.
Yeah.
They stopped trying to contest B main entirely.
Yeah,
I mean, this was a crazy play from Jaw as well. He was going nuts, but I think they dominated the map control game, and it had NRG on the back foot.
I think that specific battle, Demon 1 versus Jogmo and B main, was the keynote of the beginning of that half, right? Where that streak started in the first place was targeting down a potential weakness for NRG. And like you said, they gave it up. But even then, I think EG started really, I don't know, pushing the advantage that they have by then utilizing other places on the map. So it was a very well thought out half from them.
Yeah, and again, we have this head-to-head here, and it says versus, but they're on the same team.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Both of them are popping off. Superman, that one clutch in the 1v1 against Victor was massive. Obviously, Jojmo, he's carried the momentum in to this game, and he's still going
playing like
off.
a star player.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's playing like the star player that he should have been.
A little at the end of Lotus.
Absolutely.
And he's right back at it. I was nervous that maybe they'd be fatigued, but no, they're going crazy. They look really good right now, EG.
Yeah, well, we're going to send things back to Brennan Sideshow to bring us home on the second half.
NRG's attack side, it's been the focus of much critique, and it's Demon 1 that I look to. He's 5-10 right now, but he's on the attack side, playing against his former team, one that he helped win a trophy last year, VCT Champions. And we talked up how good Victor was in terms of making all of that space on Raze. This is now Demon 1's job.
NRG have been really finding their foothold in a lot of these maps just on the basis of them getting these pistol rounds. Pretty consistent in terms of how well they've been able to grab them. A lot of util's going to be used here to just push them back, but it does not catch Jogamo. He sits nice and pretty onto the high ground angle, even with that nade rebounding. Not enough with the debt. Yeah, it doesn't stop the plant from going down.
Victor's in a lurk position, and Nature looks like he might get caught here.
Nature is so unaware that he's just really being pushed and assailed on his position. NRG, it all works into the favor of them. Superman turns into a 1v3. But look at the hurdles to overcome. Hello, isolating fight. Found TP into the smoke. Slight direction, misdirection, crashes. He just holds it down and bides his time, knowing the right time to strike is there.
NRG continue their dominance on the pistol rounds. They've only dropped one this series. And considering how close it is, I think that highlights issues elsewhere. But when it comes to the start of these halves, they've had good ideas. I like the way that Demon 1 and Marv hold hands to clear out over there. Getting that timing onto Nature, disrupting the retake from coming through. A good game plan. The follow-through has been consistent so far in this match as well. It's the rifle rounds that have been killing them.
EG aren't quite there yet, of course. Gonna be knocked down to that eco round. It's up to NRG to really take this, early beginning, the momentum in the second half now and just run away with it. And so if you're looking and following the trends of just, how poor some of the attack sides have been looking from NRG. That's a nice one for A-Pop, but this is good. He's going to be used to clear it out. So the re-clear late of B main.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, I highlighted it earlier on, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. I feel like Ethan's calling is generally to go away from where the defense is fighting and try to find the weak area instead of contesting that space. And so that's what I've got my eye on. This time, EG pushed up 2 players into B main and they re-cleared that spot. I'm not sure whether they knew those 2 players were that deep until Victor died. But that's the kind of round that I'm looking for. You can't always react. Sometimes you got to brawl.
Just take the fight to them. I mean, NRG should have the confidence to do that. It feels like that's almost just their motto when it comes to as a team. So expecting that they'd win a lot of these outcomes. Ethan Well on his way to that ultimate now, farming up all these easy eco kills for EG.
Can he get the ace?
Maybe even trying to give it to him, yeah. Ethan swinging wide, and there it is. I have a power ace.
A nice one. Clean up the ecos. But you get close to a big ultimate. There are a bunch of ults on NRG's side that you can really work a game plan around. Of course, as Doug was mentioning earlier, you can follow iBuyPower on socials. They'll be giving away a PC with all of these aces. So nice that NRG gave that one to Ethan.
Exactly.
You can use the hashtag #UnlockYourAce. All right, so let's focus then in on this bonus round from NRG. They have an ult to play around in terms of the Thrash. They might even be able to get up the null command. And here's that player inserted into B main.
Superman was considering at least playing that one, and then he can't quite break the knife here. So with him getting tagged, walks his way out of dodge. Thrash though might be getting that connection. No, it's avoided, dodged, and duped. In fact, Superman is really getting aggressive into him. In and out of the smoke, just trying to dodge all the available flashes, and NRG looking to take backside control. This time, it's overwhelming. Stuns up though, still can't quite claim it. Ethan follows through, finally there. But EG have that player advantage. Them finding Victor into mid, and now it does put the onus onto a player like Ethan once more. Spotted, jump spot and a flash as well. Ethan dodging and ducking away. Crashies picks up the upgrade, but he's getting a move on here. EG are not necessarily fast onto their approach either. There's definitely going to be some time being bought for him. With the mosh pit, can definitely see the delay. It's spotted. Sees the shoulder, kills. Found on the side of EG though. Spraying him through the wall. Crashies just could not withstand it.
I like the idea there from Crashies. He was stuck in B main with only a pistol, and they made the best use of that. It's a damaging bonus round. It's gonna hurt the EG economy. And Ethan didn't commit that ultimate. What a fault line though, to follow up and get those kills onto Marvin Demon 1. That's really what allows EG the round.
Yeah, calling to recall and refighting for that backside.
Perhaps Crashies could have turned the tide with a mosh. But that was not to be. And as I said, this economy not looking good here. They've got a Stinger, a Guardian, and a Judge on Superman. So this is going to be a scrappy round where NRG have got to root out these players with bad weaponry. I mean, Superman's just inside the smoke here. These kind of things can really catch you.
Maybe just gone for a bit of a bait and switch. Can't break the knife in time. It tags onto the two players. NRG's game plan so far has just been avoiding anywhere where they see that aggression.
And again, that's what they do. And I worry because it just gives the defense so much info. As soon as those B main players don't get cleared,
they do end up taking mid-control. Now with the no command, it's ripping its way through onto the side. Apoc being caught here as well, so we run up that util to try and stop them in their tracks. Jormo going wandering into mid.
It's supposed to be a fake.
Got them traded, and yeah, the fake will be paying off. I mean, Ethan might have just done all the work for them anyway. Derek, forced out of position there, just from the wingman, and they're going to be calling for the rotation back over towards B. He's realized that he's got the side for his team nature. Openings and chances, but denied.
And this is one of those rounds where the mid-rounding from NRG looks sublime. If they can get more rounds like this on their attack side, they are going to be such a dangerous team. I love what they went for here. Yes, they navigate away from that danger in B main and give up that space, but they turn it into a fake, and Derek's left in a 1v4, which he shouldn't be able to do anything with, despite the kill onto Marv. Doesn't have any info about the rest of the players, and he's just trying to keep hold of his gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that Ethan goes for a fake, he kills the two players anyway. They go towards A and commit to the fake, but as soon as Wingman detects somebody in elbow, Crashies knows it's not worth the risk trying to cross there and take the fight into Derek, and instead they just go back to B. And these are really good on-the-fly calls based on the information that they have available to them.
Just tightening up the mistakes from Ascent. Well, as I say that... Okay.
I mean, that is going to actually be really significant damage.
Yeah, I mean, just cast the curse in a moment, I guess. Talk about NRG looking nice and disciplined.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the economy here of Crashies and I think it was Victor too, who'd bought fully down there.
One enemy remaining.
There's going to be a bit of a squeeze on their economy.
One enemy remaining. Ready.
But taking a look at the practical impact, we've got a Guardian, and that's pretty much it. I think Victor's come into the round with only one trip.
Their fears.
But I mean, the economy is still getting squeezed on EG's side, so
yeah,
NRG are not suffering too much for those kills that Derek got.
Might be looking to put themselves in a position to use the
I
ult
got the
though.
spike.
Be a good one to get around onto the board. Especially when it's a full investment on both sides.
Absolutely. This is an eco swing round if you've ever seen one.
Back to me.
Vitally important.
Think back to the way that EG were playing their defense on Ascent. They were dominating the extremities. They were fighting for A main and B main in a lot of the rounds. It feels similar again. EG on attack and defense have owned B main.
Nightfall, it's going to be expended and used. EG looking to see if they can do some damage with this one. A lot of trails and tethers going to be connecting.
And again, NRG, instead of trying to re-clear mid, they tried to find the weak spot over towards A. But the Cypher is here. The rotates are about to come here. This is not as weak as Ethan might feel.
No, it's really not. And even if APOP does get smoked off from this angle, he's going to have these trips onto the site to play off of. Just needs to not go down into the moment. Here has a case to play through and around. And there it is, kill trip in order. Haven't quite gained the site. That's going to be disrupted, I believe, from the aftershock. And anybody just seeking to claim that space and scale up deep, it's going to be denied the chances. Dizzy, forwards, APOP connecting, but a rocket from behind. It's all done and dusted. Marved. He dominates a smoke angle. But this is a hell of a round to overcome. 1v3, Spike dropped out into the open, only 15 seconds to do it. Again, he'd have to be the miracle maker, and he doesn't land the initial shot. Enough for EG to at least take the lead now into this map.
Just as I was praising NRG for having that round where they called beautiful mid-round audibles, that's another one of their classic macro fumbles, I think.
Yeah.
The Nightfall into mid and they think, right, well, if there's a bunch of players fighting mid, then A must be a little weak. But they're a little slow taking A. They haven't had anybody in an aggressive lurk that they can just run through. They still have to be diligent clearing their corners.
That's the trouble.
And by the time they get there, EG are already in position to go for the flood.
There is so much space to take on A if you're going to try and hard pivot like that. If you don't have somebody already in a forward position, lurking.
Yeah. And that's why I think NRG need to add more of these fast takes at the start of the round and insert players. What a shot from Marv to make this one winnable with Sheriffs.
Suddenly some danger here into the half by round. Push them back in the way. They've spotted that weak spot, Marv. Does TP forwards. Does he get a gun as well? That's what he was hoping for.
My eyes are down.
Still out into the open. APOP wants to try and defend this. Nade rebounds forwards here with the door opening wide as EG putting that squeeze on, so they do defend that weapon, but NRG have got themselves into the post plant with Demon 1's ult earned. They're going to roll in thunder this one, cutting them all the way up, pushing into the smoke, rocket unleashed, but a kill still found. Jorgamo is doing the most. Thrash defended, detained, and now it all lies on Derek. Holding the position on the ground once more. Again, you can see and hear that Spike is ticking away. But the options just running out, running short and shy of the mark. Derek can't get the kill. Weaving backwards and forwards. Final moments will do it! The half-by conversion. Thrifty round for NRG. It took a lot. Don't get me wrong.
And it
Does bring them even.
It still came down to the spray control.
Yeah.
There was half already on the defuse. That could have still been possible. Great shot to open things up from Marv there. And they weren't able to follow up on the Rolling Thunder because Demon 1 immediately pops ult. Very heads-up play. Great raise ult there from Demon 1 to control that space. And even though Jorg gets two, the Thrash follow-up from Crashies closes things. He's so good in those clutch spots.
The relief on the faces of the NRG players. I mean, we are right into the swing of things. 5 seconds off the mark. NRG, though, taking it slow and steady with just a little bit of that utility. Deep Horns as well, spotting out Victor's position.
It's been such a back-and-forth game. The 7 rounds in a row from EG have been kind of bookended by dominance from NRG.
Shadows traveling.
They're trying to feel out whether EG have got a stack or some kind of mid-re-clear setup.
Superman, and he gets ahead of that one. It will be traded by Marved.
It's not too dangerous, but it does make it slightly more difficult for NRG to get the spike down now without Crashies alive and Wingman available. So maybe if EG get the read, they can set up for some kind of flood defense that would still work. I think if you're looking for a star player to turn up again for EG and make this one a thrifty, in return it's on Jorg. But this is a lovely ult from Marv, clearing out the back of the site and allowing the rest of his team to come in through the front.
Victor might be able to catch this timing. Spotting it. Yeah, with the shots at least.
seconds left.
Was that good adjustment from Jorgamo? Running down the position. Victor He's going to be this nuisance now that they have to clear out.
And the longer he stays alive,
Look at this guy.
the easier it becomes.
It's so annoying.
EG doing a good job here, though, of pushing him back and committing forwards. Can they find a timing before Victor can be useful?
They might be playing this with enough pace. You're right. First wave of util, though, sent flying. If they didn't do it, the guns definitely would. Spamming all those angles. It's appropriate. NRG know exactly how they're going to be winning it.
Great navigation on the anti-eco to get NRG up to 10. Even rifles on both sides. Superman trying to take liberties. Yeah, and a really nice shot. But Marv was there to clean things up. You know, Marv and Victor, they were getting abused a little bit on ascent. They were finding it difficult to just post up in B main, A main, and control space around the map. Here on Sunset, I think they're doing a much better job at that.
NRG, smokes drop down. Control forward falls. This is an aggressive play potentially by EG, but Aziz doesn't connect.
Yeah, again, look, Victor is playing this situation so passively, giving good info. But this paranoia is
driving up to mid. That was Marv TPing past the trip.
Yeah, and look, NRG again trying to find the weak spots. They know the 3 players are fighting A, so they're trying to find the gaps. But the gaps aren't really there.
The flash not dodged. Demon 1 though goes up the satchel to just get the hell out of there. Nade pushing them back and away. Still plenty of time left into the round for NRG to work with.
Tried to get a reaction going here and tried to get a reaction going up through this way as well and got countered by a paranoia. And then Marv got caught in top mid.
Apoff. He's the one jiggling this corner into this angle. Just trying to spot it out, so he knows that NRG have crossed. One threshold over towards market.
Superman does not have his flash. He's in a much more vulnerable spot.
No cages as well to just try and help supplement it. Superman caught. Haven't cleared main though. Could be a blessing in disguise for him, especially when that ult pops off because all the heads have turned around. Distraction plays abound. And it all leads down to Victor. It's a spammable angle and position, but he needs to get lucky with a few more shots than that. Jogamo chasing him down, running him down. And still, the back and forth, tenuous fashion this entire last 2 maps have ended in. I mean, it continues, Josh.
But again, these gaps don't exist. It feels like NRG are making plays that would destroy lower level teams. Because when lower level teams fight 3 players A main, they don't have a way of filling the gaps on the rest of the map. But EG do. EG have got utility that holds back those reactions elsewhere. They're still watching mid. They're still stopping you from taking market control. And so NRG's IGLing to go in other directions doesn't find those opportunities. Superman still trying to dominate B main with that. And the knife continues to tag. That's going to force more util out of NRG if they want to get positions in B main.
The series overall, I mean, really heating up.
Yeah, because Ethan has this ult online, you see the Cypher way back. Just allowing this trip to stay up if it is a B hit with the KO ult.
Not just that, I mean, EG also just holding util, ready for any play in for the top section of mid. Jogamo, it's not Fango with the jiggle. Some danger there, obviously. I mean, the spam up the box and angle. Alt line repeat, Jogamo. Okay, I mean, no command's going to be committed here by Ethan, but what's a call to be made? I mean, he's just letting this loose, but it's going to be fading away.
That's more of a panic ultimate because he was worried about a mid reclear, I think. They can't really do much with that. I mean, they're not also catching on to APOT, so these trips are still up. 40 seconds. I mean, they have A main control and B main control, but they don't really seem to know where to end.
No.
Victor's taking elbow space. People group up on B.
It's really sloppy.
Can Victor fake enough to make his presence away from the hit worthwhile?
And Demon 1, he's the one who's just been encroaching on his position over towards A. It's all about the push and pull and the fake, but he's seen the rifle, the barrel, betrayal in motion.
Yeah, and I apologize, I was saying Victor, that's Demon 1, of course.
Yeah, spraying it. And praying with it. The blinds, just immaculate. EG, of course, they're set up and they make it look easy in that fashion, but when NRG don't have clear structured game plans in terms of how they want to be ending,
yeah,
and part 1 of the game plan on the attack side goes wrong. We've seen moments like on Ascent. There's been less of them on Sunset, don't get me wrong, but it rears its head once more.
There was only like 25, 30 seconds there when Demon 1 started to walk into A. I just think that they don't really have a cohesive idea of what they want to do. And the big red button, the panic button, being hit right now for Chet. Attack timeout for NRG desperately required here. They either need a plan from the playbook or a little bit of additional resources in terms of figuring out how to approach this from EG. Victor was slowly taking B main control, but he's not throwing that same like cage, insta-cam, dominate B main that we see from other teams. It's really slow. He's very cautious about what EG could be doing. I think NRG are finding it very difficult to visualize what the defensive setups look like. And so they're finding it hard to know where the threats are.
Might be going to distance once more. And it's that weaker purchase for NRG. Really highlighting the importance of that last round. I think that it was successful for NRG because now they're going to be broken down to low buys. And they have been able to find their way, through some of them with some thrifty wins, but yeah, few and far between for EG now. This is their chance to hold on to that foothold, keep the lead going and extending it further. They missed their chances of closing out the series in a 2-0. At least on Lotus.
And they're mixing things up again. Both initiators shown over towards A. The Cypher util is really for information around mid and market.
No way you're going for another repeat, Jorgamo. Hoping, I believe, that he was going to be set up. And normally it's just one player playing there from NRG's side. Connection with the Dizzy. Derek postured away from the angle.
That's a nice opener for NRG. They're going to threaten that they're going top mid with that smoke, but when the trip doesn't get broken, it doesn't actually threaten anything. There's a trip and a cam for them to break here. They break the cam, but not the trip. And again, market is not particularly threatened.
That's a big That's huge! This is what they needed. I said it would take a miracle. Thrifty wins, which, listen, NRG being able to grab him, but he's opening kills. Flexing on him with the mechanical ability.
NRG are trying to keep it cautious at this spot, making sure that they don't get caught by Derek or Nature. These two initiators, they saw them at the start of the round over towards A.
30 seconds left.
Mark spotting them both in mid now.
Full close in their face. Fault line stunned, avoided. Now with a paranoia as well. Oh no. Be any sort of follow-up. Nice little pre-fire onto the corner. They do take up market control, but they've got a lot to clear if they want to really make a go of things.
And only a single seize for EG expended to try to clear out somebody aggressive.
There's one spot. Made to stop them from pushing up close. And onto the spike just in case they get on top of it. Mosh pit as well for the next layer and level to the game plan. NRG. They can't be dislodged from this position right now, and EG have realized it.
What a round. What a round.
Disgusting work from the players to just find those picks. And Demon One, he will not be denied, except in the face of all that util, maybe, just so.
Speaking about Demon One, he doesn't play the conventional Raze. He doesn't have years of experience on it. Yes, some of the movement still looks clunky. He's still learning how to operate within it. But insert him into these spots where he can take his wands, and it looks like he's on EG last year.
Yeah.
Where he's, when people just contact re-clear into him, he's dominating them in fights. He's got a Guardian there. And to be honest, they didn't even have to re-clear that area because there was still a trip up. Demon One hadn't broken the trip in market.
The panic button was hit on the other side of NRG just to try and see if they could find some way to get back into this mapping series. Now for EG, they're doing the exact same because they're realizing it. These are the opportunities, I guess, that are just slipping away from them. You can't, when you're ahead of a team like NRG, let your foot off the gas. You got to just keep it going, keep it moving.
Yeah. And I think Apoth's setup, run it back.
Yeah.
That trip, I mean, they saw the trip's position because Apoth died, but something similar, where you have Cam and Trip in market. NRG, when they were working the map against Leviathan, they were tending to only break one of those. And Com was able to keep the other one online, and that's just so big because it lets you know that the default is not real pressure. But they're not actually going to hit that. But EG, they're going to mix it up. Apoth takes his Cypher setups over towards A. Just putting them in fairly standard positions.
There.
These kind of kill trip setups were finding Demon One if NRG was ending A. But they haven't ended A in a while.
There's real chances here for NRG. I mean, the pendulum just swinging, oscillating wildly in the other direction now because NRG with these ults might be able to do some damage. A round win to put them up to 12.
this might be a read on the fact that Victor is trying to put his cam into deep positions. This time, though, he's used it for a little bit of mid information. Usually, he's been popping it on this wall.
Oh yeah! Monster on the...
Crash forwards. Along with that, the rocket sent flying away! What is that? It's a season to the aftershock combination! And a foul one at that!
Oh, Potter's pulled deep into the playbook for that one coming out of the tack timeout.
Ludicrous stuff, man. I mean, EG conditioning like they're fighting aggressively for most of the time. Marv is going to make the adjustment. He's got the spike into his hands, but he's got to deal with Apoff with the reload. To bait and switch pulling out the util. Spike now being planted. One chance, one opportunity. Running away. There's a mockery around in this situation. There's no way he's going to be able to rotate all the way. 40 seconds. He has the time for a bit of bait and switch. Forwards again with a TP. Might just be overcooking it. Smelling a bit burnt. And with a kill collected, EG get up to 12.
Another match point for Evil Geniuses. What a timeout from Potter.
Yeah, to call that after all the EG conditioning, it slows them down. It forces NRG to use ults to clear out B main, and they come through with that Seize Aftershock.
Demon One even got pushed back into the Aftershock by his own recoil from the showstopper he threw out. I don't know how he didn't get a kill from the showstopper. Superman somehow managing to dodge that one. What a play, exactly when they needed it. And again, I think that might have been to try to punish Victor, but they got even more than they could have bargained for.
It comes down to this. Overtime again, or a chance for EG to lock this one up in a 2-1 fashion. Fast for Ethan. This time disrespecting that smoke a little bit earlier. Don't hold on to the space though, just waiting for it to clear and fade out. What is the call to be made when the weaponry is this poor? It's NRG that are having to dig deep.
Yeah, but it's Apoth who's taking the risk. There really isn't a need to go for this kind of risk. But EG have shown that they're, well, willing to go for it.
Team one's clearing it. No, it's a half clearance. No fifth now with the phone line off his contact. It's supportive util to make sure that he can try and stay alive. The shots are missing. Entirely going wide. And EG can sense it. It's the precipice. At the fingertips, the tip of the tongue, whatever you want to call it. Hunting out these players and these kills.
Ethan's taken a lot of space, but he's got almost no health to work with. I don't see how NRG are pushing this across the line.
And there's such good awareness. Strogum already sending the boom ball forwards just to clear out that space. Ethan, he has to group up and double up. The player disadvantage, a health disadvantage, a gun disadvantage. NRG on the verge of losing this one, and EG, they know it. Time to strike is now. Seize, pushes them back and away. Ethan, eager to take this fight. Jorgamo's alone, and he's found it. And now is the time to be cool, calm, and collected. EG, bring it to one. Mobs, the Iceman cannot get it done.
EG get to 13 and close out NRG. It was too difficult for them on Lotus. We went to overtime after overtime, but EG by far and away had more chances in this match to put the nails into the coffin. NRG have not secured their playoff position, and EG keep the dream alive.
They do.
And they guarantee that Omega Group is going to have 3 teams, but they don't guarantee it's them.
That's what I mean. It's all thrown into disarray. I mean, it's going to take smarter people than me to work it out, what it all means in terms of this. We're getting deeper and deeper into the remaining weeks. But what I do know is that this EG squad has just been evolving week on week, building on the game plans. The confidence is there. The discipline is there. The way they play off each other, the way they formulate these ideas. You're starting to see glimpses of what made that last EG run all the way back last year so damn special.
Yeah, I think you see it there with the final tack timeout. And they go for that set play to punish B main control. And you see it with their overall game plans on Ascent and Sunset, where they dominate one portion of the map. B main actually on both maps, and use that to such high success, putting the pressure on NRG. There were big plays across the board. I think the game plan just worked so nicely today from Evil Geniuses. And that is what we've come to expect from this team across both years with a different roster. I can't believe this team has kept the dream alive after going down 0-3. It's just
still
madness.
as well. I mean, they've got a long-term growth mindset. Every win does matter. Even thinking past this, even going into stage 2 with the playoffs. Your overall standings from stage 1, they are taken into account. They are really choosing the right time to come alive into it, keeping that playoff dream still intact. Obviously, Lord knows the outcomes that need to happen for anything to be a reality. We don't really know what it takes to be, a concrete finish for EG to make that playoffs, but at least they secured the minimum 2 wins.
If NRG had won today, if they 2-0, they could have clinched. If they 2-1, it had cascading effects for 100 Thieves and Crew and all of those teams. But EG have just thrown more chaos into the mix, more flow charts that people have to follow. Sen, they are still alive. If you're out there, Sen City. But
maybe just barely.
But I mean, the kind of outcomes towards the end here of stage 1 are truly bonkers.
Yeah, they are.
Seeing resurgences from Loud, from EG, these teams that just looked like they were down in the dust.
Absolutely. Well,
and also, EG, I mean, it's showcasing that NRG can bleed against teams that aren't just at the top.
There you go. Questions answered. Well, I'm going to send it down to Rivers, down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you, gentlemen. I am joined by Joggamo after their win over NRG. EG with another one. The evil masterminds do it again. Sentinels, NRG just pushing them all to the side. I just want to get your vibes on that game. It looked like an awesome series to play in. Back and forth, overtime, it delivered. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Like, my teammates, we came from a 0-3 start, but hey, we're here to play still. Don't forget about next split as well. We're just here to play. That's it.
Hell yeah. And what was it like playing against Ethan, going in there? Do you think we were able to tap into his brain at all, or was EG just trying to do the thing?
I tapped a little bit in his brain. I kind of read some stuff, but he's my boy, and much respect. I mean, it's first year at IGLing, so he's gonna pull it off though. I know him. That's my boy. So.
All right, and you had to be wondering, what were the comms like when you saw their Lotus comp, and what were you thinking to play against that?
We played it before in scrims, so we kind of knew what we expected, but they have a lot of nice protocols, and the retakes were fast. So I was like, holy shit.
I talked to Potter earlier. You guys were making your own retakes. You were playing fast. You kept it going. I asked her what was making you guys lose gas. So what are you now doing to prevent that loss of gas in the series?
All my teammates keeping the tempo high. I'm trying to keep the tempo high, running it down for them, And then when I see them do something crazy, I'll just hype them up every single time.
I got one more question for you. You've been on the team for a long time. You know Potter's brain. You know how she works. This is a young team. That's what she's been saying. It's growing. You guys are working week after week. Do you feel like the team is hitting the Potter milestone she wants to be seeing right now?
Oh, it's about that time right now. Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good, Joggamo. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are going to be heading over to the desk. I believe Apot has lurked his way on over there. So let's get that information.
Funny, bro. Every Sunset game, at least one round. I'm in the freaking spawn.
Yes, that's right. A-tier lurker right here. Apop is joining us here. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Freaking amazing. So, I gotta ask you this. What are the confidence levels right now? You come off that win with Sentinels and now NRG. How are you feeling?
I think we're hitting a stride right now for sure. Everyone is feeling super confident individually and as a team. So, yeah, I think no matter who we face, we think we can win for sure every single time.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. I've been following you for a while, since 2022 EG, way back in the day. And now you're 2-1 against that Crashies, Victor, Marv core. Mm-hmm. You guys had a massive upset way back when.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's crazy to me that you're able to recreate that now, and you've had such success against them in the past. What makes it easy for you guys it's not easy, obviously, but how do you make it happen?
Every day you work hard, and eventually, I guess we catch up, right? So I think the first time I beat Optic, it was the same story. We were the underdogs, 100%, and that was a battle. I think the second match we got destroyed, and this time I just throughout that entire span, since the last time I faced them, I've just been working hard every single day. I'm sure it's the same for all my teammates, and eventually we see that it pays off.
Yeah, there was a lot of time between those, all the time you spent on the reserve roster last year. So I wanted to ask about your experience there, going from the EG reserve team, working with the main lineup last year, now moving into the actual starting roster. What has that whole process been like for you?
I'm playing with, honestly, I'm just excited to play again because the reserve roster was, for a competitor, it's very hard to just sit for an entire year, only play scrims. And you're not even playing scrims to lose, to win, you're playing scrims to lose. The entire goal for us was to play the main roster until we lost to them, so that they would be ready. So, yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Did that just make you super hungry then coming into this year? I have a chance, time to actually, go
I'm
hard?
hungry, but, I think I'm just grateful that I get to play a match.
Sure. How did that feel last year when, you're on the reserve roster, you're watching the main roster kind of like have a slow start, and then they start creeping up, much like you guys are doing this time.
Yeah.
And then the knife happens, and then they're going to Tokyo, and you're watching from the sidelines. Like, first of all, how did that feel for you back on the reserve roster? And secondly, it kind of feels like that's happening again, but this time you're in the picture. Like, are you guys thinking about that at all? Like, does it feel similar?
I mean, we're thinking about how the stories are kind of lining up again, for sure. The format for the tournament is different, obviously, because you don't just qualify for champs if you qualify for Shanghai.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, on the reserve roster, watching the main team just pop off, it was like bittersweet, you know, because I'm not there, but at the same time, like, what I'm thinking to myself is I just got to be happy for the 5 guys that are, you know, creating their careers.
Yeah,
and eventually, if I just work as hard as they do, eventually I'll get my chance. That's what I have to believe.
I got one question. We watched on the broadcast recently an interview with Potter where she said, she asked you guys, there's Shaq on the other side of the stage. This story that she told, she asked you guys, and you guys said, oh, we're the little guys, you know, we're just trying to beat up the big guys. And she said, nah, you guys are Shaq too.
Yeah.
How do you see that, like, what she's trying to enforce in you guys? How do you see that philosophy she has?
I mean, that's eventually you have to overcome your heroes, and I think she just wants us to know that, like, under her lead, eventually we'll be the ones that are called Shaq. And when she asked me that question, I thought to myself that I'm not exactly David in the David and Goliath situation. I'm just a player that is just as big as Shaq, but obviously I'm inexperienced. And what Shaq thinks of me is that he thinks of me as his younger self when I play against him. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Got you. I mean, yeah, obviously the remaining people from last year, Jojo and Potter, that were able to take that roster to the top are here now. So, like, what has their influence been like, especially playing with Jojo? How you have, like, him opening up the rounds, you were there to close out the late rounds. What's that experience been like, just being with those two?
I think the fact that they have a championship under their belt gives me a lot of confidence in every single thing that they say, because you know that it's going to work. You know what I mean? Like, they've been there, done that. So there's no questioning the things that they say.
Doubt. Yeah. Especially when Jago says anything, that guy. You believe it no matter what, I swear.
When he says he's getting 3, he's getting 3.
Well, we do have some people in the Twitch chat that are just, they're fiending to ask you some questions, Apoth. So the first one is from Scrub15. And the question is,
need some help.
How do you keep a strong mental when you go down a lot of rounds? Like, how do you come back mentally?
I think for me, the easiest way to keep a strong mental is to understand that, I mean, win or lose, the game doesn't really matter. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and play more VALORANT, right? So the result doesn't matter. And I remind myself that throughout the game, just to keep things in perspective, you know, just understand the bigger picture.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah. What about for ranked? Because I feel like Scrub's asking, like, ranked.
Trying to get out of silver.
I mean, in ranked, we might just like start trolling.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have one more from the Twitch chat. This one's from Bay RQT asking the question, what does the EG team do to celebrate after a win like this?
Usually we go out, you know, get some food. We work really hard every single day, so honestly, I think everyone just has their individual hobbies, and we just go and chill after the game.
But where are you going to eat, though?
Oh, there's this place called
McDonald's?
Yeah.
Let's just keep it basic.
Nothing wrong with Mickey D's.
We don't want to give up our location.
Yeah.
Trying to dox yourself.
Well, you know what? It's time. Thank you so much, Apoth. It's time to wrap things up for the day and check out our Alpha and Omega standings right now. As you can see, we got crew still up at the top. We'll see what happens tomorrow. They are playing, of course. And let's see, where do we have EG? Right there, looking at the Omega, 3rd place right now.
It all comes down to the G2 loud game.
Yeah.
We mentioned it a little bit. That game, that would force them into like a little tie situation with you guys, which
that is true.
Would be super interesting. And obviously,
it might be our 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and we definitely got to mention Levin, 100 Thieves are locked into playoffs. So shout out to them for acing that.
Yeah. I believe Crew, they're not locked in, but according to the flowchart, they have a 98.6% chance of making it. So pretty good. And at the bottom, sadly for the Sun City, they're sitting at a 0.36% chance of making it. So, you know, wishing them the best, but that's tough.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's talk about what's happening tomorrow. We're closing out the week with one last match. You'll see the undefeated Crew take on 100 Thieves. Hey, Pop, I got to ask you who you got in that one.
My boy's 100 Thieves. That boy Bustio.
Dang, really?
He's going to lead them to victory.
Okay.
I mean, I see the respect, you know, but Crew's 4-0 right now.
I mean, yeah.
Those guys look
mighty
real
strong.
good.
One team's got a champ, one team doesn't.
True, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you know what? This today was just freaking phenomenal. Apoth, I got to give it up to you once again, and shout out to Evil Geniuses for securing another win. Thank you all so much at home for watching, and you know what? We'll see you all tomorrow.
Peace. Thanks,
Good
Apoth.
job, man.
Thank you.
GG's, man. Well played. Good interview, too. Very nice.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
The dart to buy some time, and he takes a swing anyway. Doesn't commit to the plan and gets a shot to Vanity anyway. Disaster once more in a Red Bull clutch for Furia. Flash Conan holding the line. The first found the second. Make that three. Vanity on the other side played spoiler before, but not this time. Furia destroy Cloud9. Everything as Vanity pushes forward, gets two, tries to get the third, but Zeppa's there to clean it up.
You didn't take those kills, Rumble. I was about to go crazy.
Oh, he knows. Oh. A little bit of medicine returned. Not wanting to. And Oxy tees off. Oh. To tie us up again, and he will not. The shots from Rooney are too clean.
Players.
Oxy's gonna have to do it on his own. The nade as he tries to satchel and turn apart. It's Oxy again.
He's too good in these positions.
Leaning into the time, and that's all it takes. Cloud9 take down Furia 2-1.
Oh, you're going to clean up so much more, this guy. Just on fire right now. Again, that's avoided Butel, and the movement is just excellency.
Hey, don't beat again, baby. Come on now.
Nobody can really take it. Adjustment. Them two feeling it. What a call to make. At hand, fault line forward to the Satchel, didn't connect with the stun. Matters not. Still with the kill. Seen clutches from him, but for NRG, that grueling finish right to the line. Just tightening up the mistakes from Ascent. Well, as I say that, yeah, spraying it and praying with it. The blinds just immaculate. Along with that, the rockets and flying away. What is that?
Good ears, guys.
Very cool karma collected. EG, bring it to one. Bombs, the Iceman cannot get it done.
Forever, yeah. I burned your letters, and I'm just forgetting about you. I'm just forgetting about you.